Yeah.
I came downstairs one time shortly after I'd gotten my embroidery machine, and right before COVID, so no lessons, just a massive machine and trying to figure it out with my coach over here. And I was up there for like 4.5 hours, and he would pike and what are you doing? I said, it's going great. And I came downstairs, he goes, did you get it finished? And I said, yes. He goes, what did you make? I said, I made an inside out coaster with an embedded zipper. And he goes, is that what you were trying to make? I said, no, I have no idea how this happened. I have no idea. The zipper's in the middle of it. Nothing can be open. I was trying to make a purse.
Yeah.
So I just said, so I'm going to go upstairs and cut it apart. And I'm not doing that again. So we have our fair share of like, you aren't going to believe what happened today.
Fails.
Yeah, big fails.
But that's kind of like if somebody had told you to make that, you couldn't make it.
Oh no, I go, then
You
you
know,
can't.
it's like those kickers in football that when they hit the uprights, I'm thinking if someone told you to go out and kick that
Right.
football into the upright,
You never do
you
it.
get it through the post every time, but they can hit that
Maybe that's
thing.
what they need to start doing.
Yeah. Yes.
Aim for the upright, Joey.
Right. Exactly. Okay. And the good news is after this is over, I can edit out all this crazy conversation before the meeting starts.
Very good.
Or maybe we should have a video of the outtakes.
I can make
Great idea.
I can do that.
Yes.
I
That
can
could
do
be our
that.
year-end celebration.
And I can
Yeah, good idea, Ellen.
yeah, I wish you'd given me that task before we got started in January. Oh geez. But I could put them together all in the wrong, order so that it makes no sense.
That would be perfect.
Yeah.
So how long has WiVLA as an organization been going?
Since 1994.
And is it Houston only? Is it national or?
We have branched out. It was Houston. And now because of COVID, we started meeting online. We have, one of our board members, she's not here. One of our board members is in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And we have, Gretchen would know this. Is it Minnesota? Maybe our membership person knows. I can't. We have at least one in Austin. I think there's one up north. Oh, we have one in Canada.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so we're international. And a long time ago, before COVID, we said we were international because we had a member in Australia. I think she had moved, and it wasn't somebody I knew. You knew her, Lee?
Alicia Young, wasn't that her name? She was on the board at one point. She was
Alicia.
Alicia. Yeah, she's still writing. She's a writer. She's got another book out, and so she's active, but she did not renew.
Okay, write her name down, Brooke. Yeah, I remember with Poetry Month. Oh, it was maybe the first year we went to LaPorte, but we also had a reading at the Heights Library, and I read one of her poems because she couldn't make it in person.
Yeah,
from Australia.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm up for a meeting in Australia.
Right.
Yeah. Well, what we really need is a member in Hawaii.
Right. Good idea.
We need to work on that.
That's funny.
Let's see what time. We still have a few more minutes.
Okay, well, there's Karen Smith, the person who turned me on
leaning over
to
see if I can
thrift
see
renewal. Yeah,
everybody.
You turned you on to what?
On to what we
to
didn't catch.
thrift renewal to our speakers.
Oh,
Karen, I saw
Yeah.
that you liked them on Facebook, and I said, well, if Karen likes them, I need to check them out for WiVLA. So that's how this all got started. So
All
thank you,
right.
Karen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Karen?
Well, it's here.
I don't either.
TPG.
There you are.
We're trying to find you.
yes, she's okay. Let me see. Well, I'd like to get going in about 7 minutes. That gives
Okay.
people a chance to get on.
Melody pop quiz.
uh,
What was the name of the tea room that we went to?
McHugh?
MCCUE?
No, MCHUGH. McHugh.
MCHU.
GH.
Okay.
Hello, Miss Gladys.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Gladys.
Hey.
Hey, what's going on?
Well, hey, you got a new do.
Yeah, getting ready for Saturday, my workshop.
Hey,
Should be all that.
Yeah.
Have you got a full class?
Got 22, so yeah. I
That's
mean, I
amazing.
still have 3 more tickets. Anybody wants to get a ticket, you can. I still have 3 tickets left. So, but other than that, I'm doing, you know.
It's a good number. I mean,
Oh
it's,
yeah.
Hey, Susan, I haven't seen you in a while.
Hi, I
Hey,
haven't
oh,
been here in a
nobody's-
while, but I'm here now.
Oh,
No, you should have said, where have you been, Melody?
Yeah. It's
So
good to
you
see
take
all
that-
your faces.
Oh, Susan, I gotta know, did you take that president job?
No.
no, okay.
No, no, no. And that's a good thing.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I hadn't heard from you since our little chat.
Yeah,
I think I was at an airport, actually.
you were on your way to somewhere.
Somewhere.
It's okay.
I should be able to think of it because I really haven't done that much traveling. Maybe I was going to California. I think I went to a family wedding last summer.
Mm.
Oh, nothing. Talking to myself. Okay.
And
Uh,
Lane, thank you so much for telling me about the lipstick option in and
Happy to.
so you can also give yourself a beard, which is kind of
Did she?
I've tried it. It's really not that good looking.
yeah, like that, right?
Oh, God.
Okay, I'm gonna go away.
Oh.
Oh, wait, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. Yeah,
Hey, you got a friend over here. Kitty, kitty.
I still have never been able to figure out how that guy made himself look like a cat, but
It's on there. It's actually that cat is on there. Maybe you have to get to the right screen.
Is that a filter from Zoom?
yeah.
Background filter.
Okay.
Studio effects, they're called.
Okay, so
Mm.
we are not
Yep.
going to be doing this during the meeting. I'm just saying.
No.
During,
I like to see people.
it's like,
Oh.
I like to
Okay.
see people's faces so I know. So,
Oh my God.
I remember them when we get together.
Wow.
May we?
I saw somebody recently and I asked what her name was, and I've known her for ages, but it hadn't been in person in so long that when I saw her at this meeting, I'm like, in person, I'm like, oh yeah, I know you.
Cute. Cute.
I'm like, it was a little embarrassing. You know?
Flowers. Oh, flowers.
okay. Now, all the beards are gone, right? We're
Well, there's a
Okay.
little.
all looking like ourselves, except Lane has got a little cat tail.
I've got
thing.
my WiVLA shirt on.
I know, you're always so good about that.
You know what? It's in the closet hanging up. And so if I remember, and I wasn't going anywhere, I needed to be warm or anything. I've been home all day. So
yeah,
I
was-
have one too. I forgot about it. I'll have to.
I
dig
have
it
to,
out.
I have one too.
I have one too, but I was out someplace and mine has gotten misshapen. And so I was at a place where I needed to be half shaped. Anyway,
Baby.
so it is 6:13. Let's go ahead and get started. As I mentioned earlier, we are recording so that if you want to come back and watch it again, you can. The person who does the editing probably won't have it up before Thursday. So you can follow our YouTube channel and you'll be notified when it's ready. But before we get started with our announcements and our program, we always like to start with the reading of our mission statement. And I believe Marie, our visual co-chair, will be reading it for us this evening.
All right. Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday.
Hi.
WiVLA's mission is to provide an inspiring forum for women to explore and advance their creative development, to promote their work in the marketplace, and to infuse the community with their spirit of cooperation and invention.
Thank you. And for those who got here a little later than the very beginning when we got online, I'm not Gretchen. Gretchen, our current president, is recovering from some minor surgery, and she sounds like she's really enjoying the anesthesia coming out of. So I'm subbing for her this evening. Brooke, people moved around all of a sudden.
I'm right here. Maybe that'll make me pop up.
I can't. Oh, there you are. You're right in the middle. Do we have any new members and guests present? I'm looking to see if there's somebody other than our presenters. And I don't think we do. Okay.
I'll welcome myself because I'm fairly new as the member chair. So if you get an email from me that reminds you to renew or to make sure that you have what you need to do that. And also a reminder for everybody to update your profile and add some more, images to our member area. That's just a friendly reminder to do that, even if you've been with us for a long time. So.
Yes, it is so helpful to have a picture that people can look at and say, okay, I can't remember her name. I met her at, the tea room, and having the picture there really, really helps, especially for those of us that are great with faces, but not names. Thank you, Brooke. Okay, next up. So, one of the things that WiVLA has been doing for many years, and I can't remember the exact number, is giving 2 grants away every year, one to $1,000 to a visual member and one to a literary member, for them to use in any way that they would like to further their artistic endeavor. We've had literary recipients buy a printer to help or hire an editor. I think one is a couple, I think, have hired artists to illustrate their work for them. A visual artist, as I recall, had used that money to help with putting in a special septic system to accommodate the chemicals that she was going to be using, or to take classes. I think one member here attended Glassell for a semester with that. So it's the only requirement is that you be a member for 2 years, and that you give a presentation at the end of the year on how you spent that money, and that you be a member in good standing when you give that presentation as well. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, we have so far given away $46,000 in the. Yes, I mean that is quite impressive. I know, yay us. So why am I mentioning this? The deadline is approaching for you to apply. Now, if you've received it before, you can't apply again. But if you have not, and you've been a member in good standing for 2 years, I strongly encourage you to apply. You can go to our website And I believe it's under Why Join, and it has a little box there about the Eco Fund. You click that, and then there's a link to click, and bam, you're there with a form. I'm very pleased that several people have applied this year, but I encourage you to do so. There's no trick essay questions that on the form. You don't have to have it well thought out. And as some of our members learned during COVID, sometimes something happens and you can't do what you originally planned on doing. And that's okay too. So please don't let anything stop you from applying if you're eligible. And I'm Corey, I'm gonna deviate from the agenda and let you talk about the editable books. Can't even say it.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make an announcement. Make sure that y'all know about the Edible Book Festival, which is coming April 1st, Saturday, April 1st at the newly moved to Printing Museum downtown on Elgin and San Jacinto. The Edible Books Festival is something we've done for a number of years. Anybody can participate. You participate by making some kind of food creation that has some connection to a book. I can remember Susan Salter making Lord of the Onion Rings, and she had an Excalibur sword going through a rock. She's a stage designer, but it had onion rings on it. And Lee Steiner doing War and Peeps, and somebody doing Ketchup in the Rye. And I did Anne of Green Apples one year. So you just make some kind of a food to coordinate with a book and bring both. And we just have a wonderful time exclaiming over all the different entries, enjoying the humor, and enjoying, sometimes there were some that were just straight, beautiful illustrations right out of Shel Silverstein, out of A Light in the Attic, or Where the Sidewalk Ends, or one of those, piped onto a cake. So it could be a pun. It could be straight out of the out of the text. April 1st, you go on the website of the Printing Museum and register your idea and that you are going to participate. And if you're not going to be able to participate, please still come as a guest and enjoy the humor and the fun of the late afternoon. It's from 4 to 6 on Saturday, April 1st, and everybody who comes gets to vote. And there's 5 categories and prizes for the winners. So thank you.
And thanks. I saw on their Instagram, the Printing Museum's Instagram page this morning, I believe it was a cake that was cut out in the letter A and was iced in red for the scarlet letter.
Yeah.
Lane did a lovely velveteen rabbit years ago. I remember that one that you did. And didn't you do stone soup also?
No, I did Cheaper by the Dozen with little people, and I did the Beet Queen with a beet in a crown and a throne, and some other. It's fun. It's really fun. And one time I did Moneyball. That was
that was good. Yeah, we've had a lot of really clever ones over the years, and this is Corey knows this. It's an international thing that was started in France like 20 or more 30 years ago, and they tied it to April Fools, and so libraries and schools and all kinds of literary groups all over the world do these. So all you need to do if you need ideas is Google books to eat or Edible Book Festival, books to eat with a 2, and all these, go to images, and just tons of pictures will come up of schools and all kinds of places, community centers who've had these events. And we've had a wide swath of people make images before, from elementary school teachers and librarians and bookstores have participated. So anybody that you know, be sure and send the information to, because looking for more entries. And it's a lot of fun. It's not going to cost anything to enter. Is that right, Corey? I
She's
don't
on
think there's
mute.
I
But
entered.
You can go to the website and find out.
Yeah.
about it.
Well, I didn't pay,
Well,
so I went and I did I registered, and there's no fee.
Okay.
So yeah, it's free to participate. So
Do you
Okay.
actually
A
get to
good
eat
way
them?
to come up with an idea is to go to the library or the bookstore and just go down the shelves and see the titles and see if anything can be misconstrued into food.
Thank you both. Marie, once again, our visual co-chair.
Yes, an update on our annual exhibition this year. The theme is expansion. And we have confirmation from Sawyer Yards. It will be held from September 1st through October 31st on the second floor at Winter Streets, sections A and B. And by then the building will be operating. We're not able to use section C, but we feel that we have plenty of space in those 2 corridors. What else? We have secured a juror, and so more news, more details coming up in the September newsletter. With right now, we're looking at a deadline to submit of July 31st, but we'll confirm that next month. So the prospectus will be out next month.
But you know the theme now. You can start
theme
thinking
is
about it, start
expansion.
working on it. Expansion. All right, thank you. Ellen.
I'm right here. I'm right
Our,
here.
our literary chair.
It's an exciting time to be a literary person right now because we have so much stuff coming up. First, Gladys, do you want to say anything about Poetry by the Bay, or do you want me to talk about it? Because this is your event. She's not there.
And she is muted and she's got her camera off.
Okay, I forget how many years we've been doing this, but LaPorte Library apparently loves WiVLA. April is National Poetry Month. And so we always get poets to sign up, and you can go to the calendar, you can go to the newsletter and sign up to be a poet. And we still have a few sections, a few places left. So feel free, it's not too late. It doesn't take place until April 22nd from 11 to 1 at the LaPorte Library. So all you poets out there, you are encouraged to do that and participate in that. And if Gladys comes back, I know she'll sound much more invigorated about it because she has a much more invigorating personality than I have. And the other thing we have—
Wait. I just want to say one thing. Each poet or reader is allowed 5 minutes, but we're not limiting you to poetry, flash fiction, nonfiction. If you can fit it in 5 minutes, fine. If you get 5 minutes, maybe you have 2 poems or 3 poems. So the 5 minutes, but we're not limiting it to poetry. Because
flash fiction, 5 minutes. That's, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Okay. The second thing, and I have Fern Brady here to help me, is the literary competition that we work in conjunction with the Houston Writers Guild, and Fern is both a WiVLA member and the Grand High Queen Potentate Poobah of the Houston Writers Guild. And we are joining together for a literary competition called Journey into Art. And these are short stories. This is not flash fiction or poetry. The stories have to be 3,000 to 7,000 words. There's a prospectus you can connect with on either the Houston Writers Guild website, the WiVLA website, the WiVLA newsletter, you name it, you can find it. And it can be either fiction or nonfiction. So, but 3,000 to 7,000 words. And there will be prizes with money, like hard cold cash. And there will be a book launch on October 6th. And that is going to be the first night of the Houston Writers Guild. And I always forget the name of the festival. So Fern, take it from here.
First of all, I just want to say, I want to trademark that title that you just gave me. I like it. Okay, so yeah, so our annual conference is Authorpalooza, and it's going to be in October, and we're doing the book launch on Friday, because part of what we hope will be a benefit to those who make it into the book, which is going to be all the winners and a set of honorable mentions as well. Part of that is that, you know, all of the presenters and agents and industry professionals that attend the conference are going to be getting a copy of the book, and they will be invited to the book launch. So it'll be a good opportunity for those who are in the book to get to read that night a little bit of your work and get to be in front of some of these people like Kevin J. Anderson and some of the agents that we've got, some of the local publishers who are going to be there. So it'll be an opportunity beyond just the money prize and publication, to get in front of some industry professionals, and your work in the book will be available to them as well. So hopefully that'll be a little extra bonus that we hope. And everybody who enters gets feedback from the judges. And we have 3 publishers who are going to be, who are local publishers, who are going to be the judges for the contest. So you can check out their information on the websites. And so you'll have a chance to be kind of in front of them as well, you know, get your work out there to some of these guys. And one thing, because I know this question came up, the stories do not have to be completely fictional. Like if you want to submit a true life story that involves art, in some way, you can do a nonfiction creative writing narrative as well. So just wanted to kind of mention that, because I know that question came up at one of our meetings.
Mm-hmm. And the want to submit to this, the deadline is April 14th. Midnight, April 14th, or 11:59, April 14th, and everybody wait till that last minute to get it in. But that's how long we have, and then it starts going in front of the judges and feedback and all that kind of thing. So
this is very exciting. This is super exciting.
I am super excited. I'm entering. So, you know,
there you go. Yeah.
Entering, Fern's entering. Okay. I hope everybody who's writing is entering.
It is a blind judging, so the judges will not know whose pieces they're looking at. Mm-hmm. And then once we have the winners and the honorable mentions, those entries they're already going to be set, who the winners are and all that. But those entries will actually work with a developmental editor and refine the piece based on some of the judges' feedback and the editor's feedback, so that when the final piece comes out in the book, it's going to be a really wonderful, well-polished piece. And that's another one of the benefits. I mean, if some members, if you know some writers who have not yet had some publications or who haven't had the opportunity to work with a developmental editor, this is a good chance for them to kind of get the feel of how that goes as well. You know, so right. Hopefully we build in several things that will be of benefit to those who enter and the winners and such.
Right.
just
You
has
don't
to
have to be a
involve-
member. You don't have to be a member of either organization, but you do get a discount if you belong to either. So,
And it must involve some aspect of art. You walk past the Mona Lisa or something, you know, you go to a art museum and look at everything, or, you know, whatever. Just art in there somewhere.
all right. Thank you. Margot, I know. there
Yes. Yes.
You are up.
Okay. Can I talk about the survey for a second before I introduce the speakers?
That's actually on the agenda.
I thought that was on the agenda. Yeah, I forgot to look at it today. Yes, so about 33 people have filled out the questionnaire. Thank you very much for programming. And those of what I think I will do is give everyone till about Friday of this next week, or no, of this week. If you have not filled out the questionnaire, please do so. If not, if you didn't get it, put your email address in the chat box and I will send you a link to it. And I think I'm going to send out a follow-up survey to see which workshops, which suggestions people are really interested in terms of workshops and field trips, etc. I have reached the level of my incompetence, you know, the Peter principle. So for people who have given me suggestions for our topics and presenters and contact information, those things will go to the top of the list. And especially people who volunteered to help, those will go to the very top of the list. So anyway, I do appreciate all the people who have filled it out. And without any further ado, I will introduce our speakers. Okay, so I'm going to introduce them and then I'll tell you how I discovered them. The friendship of Cindy and Perry began as their sons went from Cubs to Eagle Scouts and Boy Scouts. During those years, they both worked at demanding jobs with little time to be creative or makers. Cindy is a vice president of a staffing company, and Perry was a career prosecutor in Houston before retiring in 2015. Cindy and Perry finally could not contain their creative juices any longer and started dabbling in transforming old things into unique new treasures. After a couple of years of thrifting obsession, and dusting off rusty sewing skills, they finally made it official and started the business in 2017. The name Thrift Revival reflects both their purpose and products. And I discovered them on Facebook from Karen Smith. And I thought, well, if Karen Smith likes them, they must be, you know, they must be good. And they were. And so I was, it was really fun. They had this auction on Facebook and I was so excited to win 2 of their beautiful bags. Their products are fantastic. And then one of my roommates took it over. So wham. So anyway, without further ado, here are the Thrift. Oh God, I forgot the name again.
Revival.
Thrift Revival.
Revivalists, we're the revivalists, yes.
Okay, preach.
Margot, thank you so much. And Karen, I didn't know you had part of the story, so thank you very much. I'm Cindy.
And I'm Perry.
And everything you've heard is true, and we'll apologize in advance for the rest of the program. So basically what we thought we would do is share with you a little bit about how we got to where we are here, how we started the business, how it's evolved, what we're learning about how to run a business, and some of the places where we've stepped into some potholes and some other places where we've given ourselves a little pat on the back.
We're also going to show just a little bit of what we do. You know, when we, one of the things we get at markets all the time, the question they ask is, well, how do you think of what to do? And we don't really have a good answer because we just kind of think of it. You know, what we do is we love to go thrift storing, and that's kind of what got us into trouble to begin with, because we kept buying all this stuff. And it's like, well, what are we going to do with it? And I really wanted to take you into the closet to show you what we've been doing for all these years, because you can hardly walk into my closet. It's so full of all the stuff that we buy at the thrift store. But basically we go to the thrift store or to the estate sale or the garage sale, wherever it is, and we see something, we go, oh my God, this is so pretty. We can make something with this. And sometimes we have an idea of what it's going to be. But a lot of times we don't. And as we've been doing this, people have started donating their stuff to us. Like they'll clean out their closet and they say, hey, can you use jeans? Sure, we can use jeans. I never say no. So I've got in my attic a box full of jeans. So that's kind of the things that we do. And so we bring them home and then we decide what we want to do with them. And part of the best fun that we have is mixing the different fabrics to come up with something that's really, truly unique and one of a kind.
So I think, so how we started, like you heard in the introduction, is our sons got to be Eagles. So we no longer, at that time, we were both single parents. And it was like, so we were on all the camping trips. We were all at the scout meetings. We were doing all of that. And then when the boys finally graduated, it was like, I remember sitting there going, what did we used to do? I used to do stuff. I used to have hobbies. And we started talking about, well, I used to sew. Well, I used to sew. I love sewing, blah, blah, blah. And again, we didn't really think too much about monetizing it. And we were talking, each of us talking with somebody, go, well, you guys should sell this stuff. And it was like, really? I guess, how many purses can you have? But our very first place we sold things was at the place where I got my hair cut. And it was a lovely little salon, and they had a very tiny little boutique retail area. And he goes, would you put some stuff here? And we were like, yeah. And it sold. And we got good feedback. And so it was like, all right, this could be something. So then from there, we went to our first market, and we did it like a holiday market. And we thought, well, how much, I remember the driving up there going, how much do you think the value of everything in the car is? What if we sold out, what would it be? Well, we underestimated what we'd sell, and we were tickled. We were absolutely like, oh my God, this is so great. So we've done a couple of holiday markets. And like Perry said earlier, what we've discovered is what we do is pretty unique. Now, a lot of people make purses. A lot of people make jewelry. A lot of people do creative things, but we're using thrifted materials for one thing, which also means it's a limited supply. I can't go out and buy more yardage. I can't go make more of those. Once I've cut up that man's shirt to make an apron, it's gone. So one of our unique things is that what you get, you're going to be the only one on the planet that has it. We're not going to make it again. Now we'll make another purse again, but we won't ever have that two combinations of fabric or jewelry or things like that. And so we can show you.
Yeah. But before we do that, going back to kind of how we got started, we talked about the sewing, and we would go to craft markets, and we were at this one craft market. We go in and they got a mannequin in there, and on the mannequin is this apron made out of a man's shirt, and it's all fixed up, and we think, oh my God, that is so cute. We start looking at it, and that's kind of when we decided, hey, we can do this. We can make these things. And so one of the first things that we started making was the aprons. And this is one we have behind us. I don't know how well our light is, but so that was one of the first things that we started making. And so we kind of took our idea. We said, okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to, you made us say, go out of focus. What we're going to do is we're going to make things for tableware, like dining tableware and that kind of stuff. And so initially, when we started talking about doing this, we came up with the name for our company was going to be the Texas Table. And so we also made we made display plate stands where you take a plate and you put a nice bottom on it, and now it's an elevated plate stand. And so we thought these are all things that are going to be great on a table. And so that was what we started at. But then we thought, but I really want to make, some jewelry, and I really want to make some purses. And we started thinking all these other things that we wanted to make. And we thought maybe there would be a bigger market for that than just stuff for the table. And so that's when we did our first pivot, and we came up with a new name. We changed our name then to Thrift Revival, which is exactly, what we do. We go out and find something that's dead, and we bring it back and do a little bit of work, and now it's back in life again and having a new existence. So that's kind of how we actually started it. So our website was listed, I know, on the announcement that y'all had for us. So you can always go look at our website to really see the stuff that we do. But we brought a few things just so you can kind of get an idea. this is a headband. I can't really tell if you can see. We get a ton of broken jewelry from, well, out of our jewelry box and also from a lot of people. And so when we make the headbands and also the earrings that we make, they're all embellished with people's broken jewelry. Sometimes it's ours and sometimes it'll have a story to it. But that's really one of Cindy's specialties. She's the detail oriented person. If there has to be any hand sewing or something, it's like goes to Cindy. So she does like the earrings and those kind of things mostly. And they're real fun. We do mostly purses too. We do a lot of different kinds of purses. We've been doing a lot of crossbodies lately. We've got a lot of spring things going on. You know, we try to get the spring items.
So you can talk.
And you know, this skirt, so this was a little girl skirt, the flowery material that we made this out of. And then the checkered, if you can see it, the checkered stuff was from a man's shirt. So a lot of times, you know, we'll make it, if we make an apron out of a man's shirt, we don't always use the sleeves. And so we'll have those remnants left over to go and to put onto some other kind of project. In my sewing room, I'm much messier than Cindy. When we work together, it kind of drives us each crazy because when I work, I leave everything out because I'm sure I'm going to need it again because I'll probably mess something up or forget something. She puts everything away. But in my room, I have plastic storage boxes like crazy that have scraps of everything we've ever made. And so it's easy for us to go back and find things like the remnants from the men's shirts to attach things to. And the last thing we're going to just show you is we started doing some tote bags, which are bigger. We're trying to elevate our, you know, get a better product, an elevated product. I want to say not really better. It's just a different kind of product. And this fabric that we got, I went to an estate sale in Nacogdoches where my cousin lives. And oh my gosh, this lady, I don't know what she did, but she had two big, huge rooms full of stuff, fabrics and things that she had bought, you know, all her unfinished projects. And the people laughed at me because I bought, so I mean, I have a Subaru Outback, which is like a little station wagon thing. And it was overflowing. I found so much great stuff over there. And this was part of it. And we just have some regular ticking that we put on the inside. So it's real fun to come up with making those kind of combinations and that sort of thing. So Cindy, you got something to add to that?
I would just say that going back to the part of how we've started and starting with Texas Table and deciding how we wanted to have a little more flexibility in terms of what we do and do more of the stuff that we love to do, that I think one of our lessons as we've gone through this is we want to give ourselves permission to evolve. That the first idea may not be the best idea. It may not be the only idea, or it might just be one that you use to get to the next step. So for us, a big part of this is just being open to evolution. Another big part of that was Perry bought her embroidery machine. Now, all of a sudden, that opened up all kinds of different ways to use some of the fabric. And now I have one mostly on the phone calling Perry asking, how do you do this? But so we're both doing different kinds of embroidery projects as well as sewing and more craft sorts of things. So I think if there's a lesson in that to us, it's just stay open. You know, we're not defining ourselves as we do this. What really is the theme that runs through everything, the ribbon that ties all our stuff together, is some portion, if not all of it, is from thrifted material or found materials. And so that's, I think, the one thing we can say is that, and it could change. I mean, a year from now, we might go, I'm done with purses. Let's find something else to do. What we don't do a lot of is clothing, although that seems like, well, that's ripe for embroidery and stuff. But if you do that, you got to have all kinds of sizes. And so you might hang on to something beyond the point to where, I mean, times we'd be like, I'm tired of this. I am tired of looking at this.
Because I have a machine, you know, that cuts out things for the appliques or for if you want to do the vinyl and everything. And so I thought, well, this would be great. People like to have t-shirts and like to have stuff made with that. Well, you know, we always seem to find like small, extra small. Well, who's extra small? You know, I don't know hardly anybody's extra small. So you have these things that never sell. So we kind of push that by the side. But one of the problems that we do have with our business is we want to make what we want to make. And, you know, that's a problem because there are some things that a lot of people like to buy that we just don't want to make. You know, there's certain motifs that some people don't like, that we don't want to, so we're not going to make those particular motifs, even though we know that people would probably buy them. So, you know, even though we do want to make some money doing this, we do it mostly for ourselves, you know, and we get, I speak for myself, I get great pleasure when I take nothing, you take a pile of nothing, and when you're finished, oh my God, you've got something.
Yep.
And I made that. And to me, that's where I get the best joy. And then you go and you take it somewhere and somebody else says, oh my God, you made that from this. And they can't even see how you came to that idea. And so they buy it. And when we did this market a couple of weeks ago, I'd made a pillow and it was up in the booth, and this guy comes in and he walks up, he goes right to that pillow. He said, oh my God, I love this pillow. He says, what did you do? And I told him how it was made and everything. He says, oh, I love it. I want it. He took it and bam, he was gone. He was so happy. He was grinning from ear to ear. I mean, that was very satisfying to see that. So so we want to make what we want to make, and that may keep us from, you know, being millionaires someday. But that's kind of what we do, and it allows us to be able to shift and to make the changes that we want to make.
I think one of the things that the going to the markets, and we'll talk just a little bit towards the end about how our evolution on how we market our stuff, is that we want to, our things are basically an expression of authentically who we are, the kind of interests we have, the things we get pleasure out of, the things that make us smile. I love opening up our bags and looking at, like, well, Perry make a bag and she'll send me a picture. She'll show me the inside, because the lining will be something that's like, oh my God, that's fantastic. And I think being authentic to who you are and what brings you joy, we don't ever expect to be mass producing or a mass. Not everyone's going to like what we do. That's okay. That's okay. You know, we're going to do what we love to do. We're going to make them. And then going to the markets is how we really get our feedback.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like people pick something up several times, and mainly learning that what we're doing, reinforcement that it is unique, that there's nobody else at this particular show. You know, someone else may have purses, but they don't make purses like we make purses. And I think that's where we get reinforcement. And have we been to a couple of shows that were total busts? Absolutely. And so, you know, one thing we've learned is don't go to farmers markets to sell this kind of stuff, because they're carrying around eggs, not cute purses. So, you know, we're trial and error, you know, we're learning kind of how do we do this, and what are the places that make sense for us? What are the places that don't make sense for us? Also, don't go to crawfish boils. Just, don't.
That was our last market.
That was our last one.
And it was not good.
It was no bueno.
But that is where the guy bought the
That's true.
the pillow. So that was nice.
And we had some damn good sausage.
Mm-hmm.
So
what we were thinking about doing, but it's going to be kind of unwieldy on Zoom, is we kind of wanted to show you how our process was. But before that, I'll show you, I'm going to try to share the screen, whoever's in charge of that.
That's you.
Oh, it's me?
Yeah, you're in charge.
I'm in charge of, okay, so here I am.
So you just click on that.
Okay. Let me go to slideshow.
You can just click on it in that lineup.
Okay. So I have a few pictures here that just show you what things started as and then what they became. So this was it's a faux leather. It's not real leather, jacket that we had gotten somewhere. And what we ended up making with it was a purse. The lining in this purse was kind of fun because it was some ladies. I don't remember if it was a nightgown or if it was pajamas, but it was
that at a church bazaar.
Yeah. So that was kind of fun. This was my sister used to carry those Mishi purses. If anybody's familiar with those, they have the inners and then they have the covers on the outside. Well, she wanted to get rid of all of them, so I took them. of course, because I take everything. And we took this and made it into a little zipper purse like that. And these are great because you can just put your lipstick or whatever in them and stick them in your bigger bag. And then this was a shirt of my mother's that somehow I ended up with, and camo was all the rage, and so we just did this with it. So that's kind of the idea of what we do when we're doing our items. So the process usually is there's two ways we do it. We either say I want to make a certain kind of purse, and then we go dig around in the closet to find out how we're going to do it, or we have something that we know we're going to do. So I didn't get the purse, the finished purse over there.
Yes,
Cindy.
ma'am.
I'd seen somewhere these are placemats. These are those wicker placemats that you can get. And I had seen somewhere that you can make a purse out of those. Now, the way I ended up making up the purse was not the way I saw it, but
Okay.
so here's our discussions. We often
This is the
disagree.
whole thing. No, you do it. No, I'll do that. Okay.
This is one that we made before. And it's got, it's got the inserts and then a dangle on it. And it's real fun, just a summertime purse, and it's real big and everything. So
We model it.
So in that instance, since we had made it and people liked them, we decided we'll make some more. And so we were on the lookout for the different kinds of placemats. And so these are some placemats that we just pulled out because we're going to make some of these since it's spring and summer. We're going to start making them. We went into the closet and we started digging around for what we're going to do. Too bad we couldn't video that because that was an ordeal because we could not agree on what we wanted to put on the purse. We finally did come to an agreement. Cindy wanted to go much wilder than me, but we did end up agreeing that we have this, it's a kind of a lime green and floral. And we'll put that on the sides and we'll probably make straps out of it and all of that. But it's a process where we just go in and we pick it out.
We get a couple of those.
We also are going to there's going to be an apron. We're going to make a man's apron. We have a great,
Window pane.
it's a window pane, yellow and white check shirt, man's shirt. And again, we went in the closet. We didn't find anything in the closet because all the good stuff was on the table that I'd been working in. So we dug through the scraps and we found, these are it's a little floral print, and we're going to use it to put a border on the bottom. We might make a pocket if we have enough fabric left over.
And this is a sleeve from a woman's blouse.
Right.
That's been deconstructed.
That I've already used part of it for one other thing. And then we've got this fabric right here. This is, I got this at one of those estate sales too. And it's kind of like outdoor material, but it's really brightly colored. And so what were we gonna do with this? We're gonna make a tote bag. We're gonna make a
That's
tote
right.
bag out of this.
That's
and
right.
it'll be a great tote bag.
And we'll find some cute lining. for
Well, we
the
found
outside.
that we have a shirt that we thought we would use.
Oh, that's right.
This is a Jones of New York shirt. My sister cleaned out her closet and gave me stuff. She has great taste in clothes. And so we got some good Ralph Lauren shirts and things
Yes.
like that, some of them had little flaws in them and everything from her wearing them. And so we'll take all of these things and we'll cut them up. And if you come see us at one of our markets, you'll probably see it. Or if you follow us on Facebook or look at our website in a month or two, you'll probably see all of those things that we've made on there. Do you have No, I thought somebody was.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Any questions so far?
This is Melody. I have one. I thought of it when I saw the first tote bag. You guys said you had sewing machines. Have you had to maybe upgrade to some heavier duty, like commercial kind of machines?
I'll answer that. Yes, yeah. When we first started all of this and started sewing again, I don't know what Cindy was using, but I started out using the sewing machine that my grandmother gave me when I graduated from high school. Now, I'm only 30, but
Right. I thought you were younger than that. Okay.
and so from there, I bought a little bit better machine. And that was like night and day. But I have a friend who does a lot of quilting, and she encouraged me to go and buy an embroidery machine. And so I got a used embroidery machine, and it's a combination sewing and embroidery machine. And that was like night and day. I really struggled sewing a straight line on my old machines. And then when I got this new machine, it was like butter. And so when I got the first embroidery machine that I had, that really opened up a lot of things for us because everything was easier. Then you can, when you're doing the embroidery, there's so much other stuff you can do. Well, then that one started giving me trouble. So I took it to the repair shop to get it fixed and came home with a new, bigger, better machine. And so I was using that. Cindy was interested in doing the embroidery, but she didn't have an embroidery machine or anything. So they have these like conferences or classes where you go for a couple of days and you get to use their fancy machines and learn how to do things. I took Cindy to one of those, and she came home with a new fancy machine. And so, yes, they're not industrial machines or anything. They're still domestic machines, but oh my gosh, they do so much stuff. And we don't, we only use this little fraction of what it'll actually do compared to what is available out there. But we're really having a good time.
And I was in a similar boat. I had an old sewing machine, a $200, Amazon sewing machine, that when I tried to use it, the whole table was like this. And then I had a serger, which was a surprise to me when I was reading the instructions to watch out for the knife. And I thought, what? This machine is armed? And so, we had enough between us to do almost, I could do a part and then take it over here and she would do it, or she'd send something to my house. And then I bought the embroidery machine as well, which has been super helpful. So we can hunker down and do projects, but mostly we like having fun doing it together.
Well, and I want to say this, my sister had bought she retired a little while ago, and she, before she retired, she wanted to do quilting. So she bought a nice embroidery machine. Well, she's never done anything with it. It's been sitting at her house. And so about 6 or 8 months ago, she said, hey, you want to use my machine while I'm not using it? So sure. So now I have actually 2 really nice embroidery machines, which is very good. Because it used to be, if we wanted to work together, she would have to lug her machine over here. But now I have 2. And so we can be working on them together. And we started doing more actual working together than we were doing before, because it makes it so much easier.
And these are single needle machines. These are not the multi-needle, fired off in 15-minute kind of stuff, but they're heavy duty and they're holding up. It's beautiful. Thank you for that question. Yeah, because just like in y'all's disciplines, the tools you use make all the difference into the success, right? And the better tool you can use, or use the right tool for the right job, makes all the difference in the world in what your product looks like at the end, and whether it's something it's going to be in the trash or going to be at a show. We don't take trash shows. So
she got a question.
Yes.
Oh, this is Lee. I wanted to offer you guys some encouragement, and you kept saying that you want to make what you want to make, and I want you to figure out what your vibe is and stay true to it, because then when you go to markets and stuff, you're more focused and you're able to, people will pick up on your enthusiasm if you love what you're doing. And you'll always have people saying, can you make it more like this? Or why don't you make this instead? Don't chase the trends. Don't think about whether you would enjoy making what people are asking you to make. Don't chase those things. Be true to your vibe, decide on your vibe, and your name, this name says it. This is a great name because it describes what you do, rather than one of those like, Susie's house or whatever. It's like, what does it have to do with sewing? So you come up with a name that really speaks your persona right there, and come up with your little pitch on that. And then my other idea was, you showed these before and after pictures. Do you show some of those at markets? Because you might want to really play up your sustainability. Sustainability so big, and that you are taking things and giving them a new life. And I think when you got like a couple seconds to talk to somebody, and if you just showed, if they can see, well, it was this and now it's this, you know, it blows their mind. And what you're doing is really beautiful, but they need to see where it came from. So
Thank you.
show them the old
Thank you.
wrinkled up shirt and then the beautiful purse.
So one of the things we do, thank you, Lee, and we've talked about this, the final part of our journey is refining this whole, we recognize markets are one of the great places for us because we like talking to people and
I do
hearing
too.
about what they have to say. So what we do right now in the interim, until we can figure out a better way to do what you're talking about, which honestly is just making sure we're taking the pictures. I get so fired up, I get tearing right in the middle of it and I'm going, oh my God, I forgot to take a picture. And of course, by then it's in a million pieces on the table.
Yeah.
But what we do is on our tags, the front of the tag has Thrift Revival and the inventory number. The back of it says, I used to be, and then we write in,
Oh, yeah.
what did the thing used to be?
That's
Because even if
very
someone's buying it
clever.
as a gift, and we might be able to talk to the person who's purchasing it and tell them what it used to be. But if it's a gift, that person doesn't find out. So we'll say this used to be leather scraps from Republic boot and my mom's broken necklace or
Yes,
something
that's
like
perfect.
that. So short,
That is great.
thank you.
Stay
But
true
we
to that.
agree. This is something we've talked about, and that's a great segue into kind of where we are in the marketing part of our business.
I want to mention one more thing about markets.
Yes.
You got to find your people and
Your tribe,
somebody
find your
like
tribe, right?
church ones, it's kind of like, well, you know, they're, you know, or, you know, yeah, don't go to food ones that, and some of the beer gardens, they just want to, you know, drink. They're not really going to spend any money. So but find a couple of tried and true markets where that it's all handcrafted, handmade, maybe the same kind of sustainable, and then try some new ones too. So you want because you got to try some other ones, but some are just going to be like, God, what am I doing here?
I tell you what we do, and to that point is we always consider a market successful, whether or not there's a monetary, like we killed it by going through and talking to other vendors, finding out what markets they're going to, where they've had success. So we're networking with other people, and just because it's good for someone else doesn't mean it's good for us, but that's how we're learning about some of these markets.
Yeah.
Because
You're
you know,
doing it.
Karen has a little more time, but I'm still working full time. So I'm not sitting at home. I'm sorry, like you.
Yeah, I'm just eating bonbons.
Who's jealous, you know, but eating bonbons and petting the cat. But so, you know, that we seek out information wherever we can about markets, about, you know, what do people think about what we're doing? You know, someone picking up and going, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. They put a check with a flower or something like that. Again, that's not our people. That's not our people. Our people zip it up and go, oh my God, look here. So all your points are absolutely perfect. And we're working through that journey now on the marketing part. One of the things that I do know is you can't do everything because it's just us. We don't have an admin. We don't have a 25-year-old Pinterest, whatever. So it's like, what do we like doing? You know, and we like the markets. We like meeting all those people and hearing from them and learning what they're liking or what they're seeing. You know, for right now, that's probably along with we redid our website like in the fourth quarter last year, completely redid it, rephotographed everything. So the goal would be maybe somebody sees us at a market, so they see the quality of what we do, because we really are we're picky, you know, about what we're using, the quality of the materials, how we're doing the actual construction of what we're making. And then you can go to the website and go, I've seen their stuff. Their stuff's good. You know, it's high quality. It's not a Chinese tote bag. So sorry, no offense to anybody who owns a Chinese construction company, but and so between the opportunity to sell all the time through the through the website, and then the opportunity to meet people and do it that way. I think that's looking like our sweet spot, but again, open to evolve. That can change.
And kind of along those lines, you know, we've tried several different things, and we're learning what doesn't work, you know, and we, you know, Margot found us on Facebook, which was great. And we were working with somebody that was giving us some advice on marketing. And so we did those Facebook Live things. And, you know, that wasn't really that good for us. I mean, we had hoped it would get us out a little bit, and it did a little bit, but you don't have time in that period of time to explain, you know, exactly what the process is and all of that. And so we felt like a lot of what our thing was being lost. And so, you know, we tried it, it didn't work. And so that's kind of where we are now. And, you know, we haven't done a ton of markets just because of circumstance, you know, timing and all of that. And, you know, markets are a lot of work. Y'all all know that. And when you go and do any kind of an exhibit, I mean, God dang it, it's hard. And since Cindy's still working, and, you know, it's hard to take up her whole weekend and all of that, and then all the focus. So our goals we're trying to do a market every month or two. And maybe not so during the summer, because most of our markets, of course, are going to be outside. And that's why we've integrated our website to have our merchandise as an alternate way if people would go and look at it. You know, it's hard to get people to drive to your website because we don't know how to do all that search engine optimization and all of that kind of stuff. But, you know, it is what it is, and we have somewhere to put our stuff that we're making, and we're having fun. And that's really what our whole motivation to start this was, and will continue to be. So that's what we have to say.
Yeah, that's our story, and we're sticking to it for now.
Does anybody have anything else they want to ask? Or and Grace, I want to thank you for your suggestion on for the pictures. We've thought of those kind of things, and we just get immobilized by it for some reason. But we'll get there. And especially with y'all's encouragement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Assign that one to the 12-year-old. They'll make it happen, and you won't even know how they did it.
True.
But then you got to let them in your sewing room, which is
Oh, this looks like so much fun.
It is. We're enjoying ourselves a lot.
We're having a good time.
Corey,
you're on mute.
There we go. I'm intrigued by how much you do. Well, I don't know. Do you do a lot of sewing or actual making together, or do you do most of it separately and then meet every once a week or something?
It kind of goes in spurts. A lot of times we do a lot of planning together. You know, we'll talk about what we want to make, and then we make on our own. Because most of the time, you know, if I'm going to make a purse, I make a purse. It's hard to kind of split that up. Unless maybe sometimes we do things like we make kitchen towels. We do a lot of stuff for the kitchen also, and we do make kitchen towels. And so a lot of times maybe I'll do the embroidery on the kitchen towel, but the towel is new, and so we have to have something on there that's repurposed. And so we'll put a ruffle, or we'll put some kind of use some of our scraps or something to embellish it somehow. So a lot of times, so that we both have credit on it, I do one part and Cindy will do the other part. We like to do the sewing days together because they're a lot of fun, for one thing, and we get a lot of stuff done when we do that. But, you know, scheduling that time is hard. So we try to do that maybe about once a month, if we can. And of course, it depends on what's coming up. If like we worked real hard for this last market, and I know I got tired of sewing, so I haven't done anything for 2 weeks. I don't know what Cindy's been doing, but we certainly haven't even been really talking about the business too much, except for tonight. Right. So, you know, after, you know, this, we'll probably start working again and start gearing up. I mean, when I come up here and it's like, oh, I see these things that I've pointed out that I want to make, and now I got to get up there and make that, you know? So, that's kind of how it works. And we'll probably in the next several weeks have another work day together, where she comes over here and we go at it.
And Perry's really good at making the purses. She's made the vast majority of the purses. So that's her, like, the person he made, she can make that. I do some things that she doesn't do. So I love saris from India. I love them. And because they're almost always silk. And I'm a fabric snob. I love silk and linen and 100% cotton. So I shouldn't say figured out, or I have finally learned how to take a sari and cut out a portion and make a beautiful scarf out of it. And once again, saris are different down the length of the fabric. So I can make multiple scarves out of one, but no two are going to be alike. So there'll be days when I'm working on that. I don't need to be here to do that. You know, we don't need to be together for some of it, but the planning is it is always done together. We always kind of plan out, what are we going to do? And then I go home with a list of, I need to make 2 of these and 4 of these, and I got to do 2 of these other things. So that
Cindy has to have a list
I have to have a
to
list.
stay on track.
I have to have a list.
We call her the squirrel because we'll be working on something and all of a sudden it's like, where'd you go? What are you doing?
Right.
You're not even working on the same
No.
thing.
I'm in the fabric closet. Look at this. Look at this. Look how pretty this would be. So I work from a to-do list with deadlines. And that's how
I'm not really a taskmaster. She's just making me sound that way.
Well, you're only 30 apparently, so you can take it. So anyway, I don't know that there's anything else that we have to share. Both of us, thank you so much for inviting us. We're still not sure how this happened, but we're thrilled to death to have met you and learning a little bit more about your group and anything that we can share with you about markets we've attended. You know, there are often artists at markets we go to, or just network together to find ways to increase the network of people that are looking for ways to get their work out there in public. So
I have one final question. What if we have some cool stuff that we think you would like? Should we just
I put
here's
our
your email address.
Yeah, on our, I think hopefully you're seeing the screen share.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can email us there. You can send us a message on Facebook if you want to. You know, I really prefer email rather than Facebook because I'll probably get it sooner on my phone. And just let us know, and we'd love to come and meet you and you know, take whatever you have off your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Corey mentioned this too about your chemistry and your humor. You know, I think some people who work, you know, take their wares to markets and festivals and things like that, it's really important for them to find someone they can interact with. I mean, you two are almost like a comedy.
Thank you very much. We're here all week.
And I'm sure that attracts people to where you are because they want to be part of the fun. And
Well, and we talked about being authentic, and authenticity is a magnet. You know, people are drawn to people who are authentic, and authentic doesn't mean perfect. And it you know, but we know what's unique about what we do, and we put that forward. Like I said, can 16 booths have earrings? Yeah, but none of them are like ours. None of them are coming from scraps from Republic Boot, you know, and have my mommy's broken necklace on it and things like that. So it's not necessary to be, you figure out who you are by just looking at what are you doing that nobody else can do. And that comes from your life experience, that comes from your point of view, it comes from your perspective, and that's your authenticity. And I think if you're true to that and you put it out there, people get that, and it's a magnet.
Well, and as far as the markets go, you know, we go to lots of markets because we like to see what's out there, and we always comment on, well, why are they just sitting back there behind their table? And you know, we struggle a lot with our display because we want to be out there. And you know, really honestly, probably at least half of our sales, or probably more than that, are because we stop people out in the hallway. Now we don't go out there and grab them and say, hey, come in our booth. We just say, hey, how you doing? And that gets them to stop. And then when they stop, we say, you know, here's what we do. Here's our thing. And we kind of tell them what we're doing. And almost, I mean, I don't think I can even remember one time when we haven't told somebody that they haven't said, oh, wow, okay. And they come in they don't always buy something, but a lot of times they do, but it at least gets them in there to look and to talk to us, and so we can get our name out there. And plus that's what we like doing, we
Yeah.
like, I don't know if it's showing off. I don't really think it is, but it, some people can maybe see it that way.
No,
But-
it's not showing off.
But
That's
we
so
like
funny.
it, so that's what we do. We do,
Yeah.
and we don't want to just sit behind a lot of times the shows we don't even sit down, because
Yeah.
we're just
I'm the same way. I never sit.
Yeah.
And I'm shocked at the people who sit in there like reading a book or something
right.
while people are walking by. No, you have to make eye contact. It's
Right.
easier if you're standing up and you just, your enthusiasm. And I've had people say, yeah, you really love what you do. And I'm like, yeah, I like to talk about it.
Yeah, you got a few hours.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We
Well-
also love going to thrift stores. That might have come apparent throughout the entire presentation. But if you guys are not thrift people and you'd like to figure out why it's such a fun thing to do, we'd love to take you thrift shopping with us sometime. So I'll just put that out there.
We
Well,
have
you
several
will-
members who like to go thrifting, and I've been thrifting with a few of them, and then, Round Top is going on, has come.
I like
started,
thrifting too.
Yeah, and that's a great place to hunt for
Like thrifting.
fabrics. We've gotten tons of, it's fabric
I like
by the pound and everything there, so.
Oh, wow,
you know,
really?
Oh,
Wow.
so,
You will,
Yeah.
after tonight, you will both have a free membership for a year.
Oh, excellent.
And I forgot to mention the event calendar, but everyone should be checking the event calendar, because when things come up like a field trip, or if somebody's going to a workshop that's not a WiVLA workshop, you can find it and maybe go yourself
oh,
as
cool.
well. And I mean, y'all can post things up on our calendar. And I was thinking there, I don't know if you thought about the cable access. They have like a free orientation. And once you go through the orientation, you can use their cameras and their green screens and all of these things. And I mean, I could see y'all like sitting, like doing a talk show, like a late night talk show, because your banter is really great. So that might be a really good thing for you to do.
Oh my
Thank you.
goodness.
That's funny.
So
Thank
first
you.
of all, thank you. And thank you for the membership. That's so cool. Thank
Yeah.
you so
Yeah,
much.
I'll be emailing you so we can get all that.
Okay,
great.
information.
Any other questions? Any suggestions, whatever that anybody has?
Well, I do have a question about the auctions that you had on Facebook. Was a problem, did you not sell enough material, I mean, things that you had made, or was a problem that you felt like you didn't have time to really share what you were doing and who you are?
I think it was a combination
Yes.
of both.
Yeah.
I think part of the problem that we had is, the audience wasn't that big. And so we felt like for the effort that we were putting forth, we weren't getting any return on it. And some of that probably is on us, because we didn't really know what we were doing. And I've thought back on it a little bit every now and then. And I thought, we could have done it. We could still do it, and do it in a little bit different manner than the way that we were instructed to do it by the girl that was helping us. That just wasn't real conducive
Right.
to us. And, we're finding that with our website, especially, we were trying to set up how to sell, or list our merchandise and everything. Well, most people that have a website, most businesses, they'll say, I have a shirt, and they have 10 shirts. Three of them are large, 3 of them are medium, 3 of them are small. And so you have one entry. Well, no, every single thing we make has to have an entry. And so the people that were helping us with our website, it's like, oh my God, how many times do we have to tell you that before they finally, I think they understand, but I'm still not 100% sure. So it's, it's the same everywhere. We have that same kind of problem everywhere, and we're learning that and learning to adapt. And so maybe if we were to go and do a Facebook Live again, we could use that and do it in a different way. But I don't know that we have that many Facebook followers and everything. Yes.
And on that, I wanted to say that, you are like artists in the, or writers, but everything you make is a one of a kind. And like everything I make is a one of a kind. So it is a lot more labor intensive to list your items online and sell them. But you don't want things just piled up between markets. So you need to do both, and you're smart to do that. But yeah, you're going to have to write a one of a kind listing for each thing. And then you may be able to like repeat your purse description, but change the colors and the size and the color of the zipper or whatever and all that. So like for me, I make handmade books. I have certain things that'll kind of, oh, I can copy this listing, but change some of this information a little bit. So you find ways to shortcut it, but you're not gonna be able to scale like on Shark Tank, you know, and have these massive quantities of the same thing. That's not your vibe. Yours is one of a kind. You tell everyone one of a kind. Every time you list, you hashtag one of a kind, you know, that's you. So yeah, the shopping online part is going to be a little more labor intensive, but you'll find ways to make it efficient. So
We're making progress on that.
with
So
it.
yeah, thank you for that. That's all very helpful. That's good. Thank you. Anything else?
Yes. Where do you, your thrift shops, because I'm sure you're doing a lot of stuff local. Which ones do you find most appealing to go into?
Ma'am, Memorial Area Ministries over on Blaylock. That's like one of our favorites.
Yeah.
But we also do a lot at after the pandemic, prices have gone up in the thrift store. So we go to Value Village. They go there a lot. We go to Goodwill, you know. We have there's a place that we go to out in on the way to Brookshire, and it's called
Help a Sister Out.
Yeah, Help a Sister Out. And it's at some church affiliated or something, but it's just in this old divey house. But oh my gosh, we found the best stuff in there.
No kidding.
And the lady that runs it is so nice. But we're learning, we were at one of the markets, and a lady came from a one called Amawim, I think is what it's called. And she came and saw us a year ago at a market, and we talked about it. And then she came and found us at this most recent market. So that was good. And it's down somewhere now downtown. So they're all over, and we try to we have, you know, the pandemic kind of put a QT on us doing shopping, but luckily we had plenty in the closet to keep it. I mean, I'm serious.
I think we've made up the time.
We finally, so we're starting to go back out again. And one of the things we wanted to do as far as, you know, showing the before and after stuff, we wanted to take pictures, you know, when we're thrifting or take videos. But, you know, we get so excited and doing all that. We leave, we're getting the car like, oh shoot, we didn't take any pictures. So, you know, it's just how it is.
Another resource for us, not thrift stores, are estate sales.
Yeah.
Sometimes garage sales, but for sure estate sales, because
on the last day.
Right. Yeah. But the linens, all the kitchen linens, all the bed linens, all that stuff, all of that is a lot of yards of fabric. And even if it's stained, I mean, we don't use we can cut around things to do that. So that we found good things at estate sales as well. I mean, basically, if there's a sign out front, we're going to stop. I mean, you know, that's, you know.
And we like to go early. We like to go on the first day if we can, and we look and see. And then, you know, sometimes there's things that we really, really want, so we'll go ahead and buy them. But then if there's other things that are like, well, you know, that'd be cool, but I don't really want to pay $5 for it, then we'll come back on the last day. And if it's still there, which a lot of times it is, because a lot of people don't want that stuff, especially if it's kind of worn, you know, because they don't do what we do. So that we do that. Yeah.
Yeah. We've torn apart some really beautiful clothes. But you get it home and you sit there for a minute, go, am I going to do it? It's like, wow, rip off that sleeve and throw this here. And I mean, designer, gorgeous stuff that's $5 at a estate sale, and we'll take it home and just tear it apart and use it for a variety of different things.
Because if it doesn't sell at the estate sale, they're just going to get rid of it, you know, and it could end up in a landfill somewhere or something like that. So
clothes by the pound kind of place.
And that, you know, I've heard that old clothes is like, I could be getting this wrong, but it's like one of the worst things for a landfill.
It is.
It's also in terms of
break down.
resources to actually make it. It's actually hugely detrimental. Lots of places where it impacts the planet in the fashion industry. So there's the
Mhm.
getting it to the store that causes issues, and then there's a once it leaves the store issue. And so I have no problem. By the way, I washed those wool things and they came out just
Oh,
fine.
good. Everything we buy, some people are a little bit creeped out about resale stuff and stuff that other people have worn or used, whatever. Everything we buy, the first thing we do is we don't even bring it in the house. We put it in the washing machine.
Yep.
So everything that we make can be washed. I mean, you probably wouldn't want to wash most purses, because some of, well, the leather you wouldn't want to wash, but everything else, we wash it. So that it's easy that way.
So that was a revelation. You can wash wool. Got two beautiful wool skirts, pleated skirts at a estate sale last weekend. And I thought, I didn't realize they were wool. I got them home and I went, oh my God, these are wool. I thought, well, what? They were $4. Throw it in the washing machine.
Yeah.
What could happen? A little Titana skirt comes out, but smaller projects, but it came out perfectly. And I wash all silk. The dry clean tag for me is like, yeah, you're not the boss of me. I'm gonna do what I want. And if we buy pillows, we sanitize them. So take the little creep thing out of it. And if it creeps you out, you're not our people.
I have a question.
Yes.
I noticed that y'all do a lot of purses. Do y'all also sew like other things besides the purses? I was seeing purses and.
Yeah, we do other things. We do a lot of kitchen linens. We do napkins. We aspire to do table runners. We have great stuff that we want to make table runners for, but we've never gotten to do that. We've never actually done those yet.
Coasters.
We make coasters. We make we do the aprons. We do
earrings.
Yeah.
You said earrings?
Earring. We don't sew well, we actually make some of the earrings on the embroidery machine. They come out looking like lace, and then Cindy goes and puts beads or different kinds of broken jewelry on the earrings to embellish those.
We make gift tags, things you would put on a gift with the to and from out of now that's not reclaimed paper, but I always sew a jewel or some kind of bead on it, and they're reusable. We sell a lot of those. It just kind of whatever, like we're excited about something.
So would you say your best seller are your handbags, your purses? Is that your best seller? Is that because you have a lot?
Well, no, I wouldn't necessarily say that. I would say that our biggest sellers probably, well, they all see
Dish towels.
Dish towels. We do a lot of the dish towels, the kitchen towels that we embroider on. Those are big sellers. We do well with our purses. We make purses, we make little zipper bags, all different types of bags that all sell. The earrings are usually very good sellers. And the aprons usually sell pretty well.
Aprons, okay.
So yeah, it's and we sell.
And so what's about your price point on, let's say, an apron? What's your price points on on your aprons?
Currently, most of our aprons are $27.
Okay.
So our prices are very reasonable. Yeah. We actually kind of think a lot of our prices are too low, but I have a problem because I don't know why I have a problem, but I feel like I pay $27 for that, but I might not pay $40 for it.
I got you. You want to sell,
right? We want to sell it, and
So, okay, but by far is Easter and perhaps Mother's Day your busiest busiest season, or is it Christmas? Tell me.
Christmas is the busiest.
Okay.
We do most of our business in the fall at the fall markets. They people, because we make lots of Christmas coasters, anything with Christmas motifs, a lot of Santa Clauses, a lot of all of that, and this Christmas we sold out of almost everything. We had very little inventory left over.
So I think at those time of years, people are buying for gifts, lots of gifts, and who doesn't like to give somebody something with a little story behind it, and then also for themselves. And this is the first year we've done a spring market,
right?
And so we are looking into one that is in June, and do that. But I would agree that it's the fall and Christmas stuff flies away. We didn't even put it on the website. this year
Wow,
because we
that's
were
great.
having an event and we thought for sure this stuff is going to lead, and it did. I don't think we had
Hardly anything. left.
hardly anything left, which is exciting.
That
But
is.
we don't want to build it on killing ourselves in the fourth quarter.
Right, and would you
having
say
it
the
all
fourth
gone.
quarter is about 60% of your business? Fourth quarter is about the 60% of your
Oh,
business?
I'd say currently it's probably 90%.
Yeah, I would too.
Wow, that's
Well,
huge.
And
That's
see, and
huge.
part of that's because we have not done spring markets before. We've
Ah,
I don't think we've ever done it. Well, we did
There
one
aren't
thing.
a lot of good ones. There aren't a
Right.
lot of ones that are handmade,
Sorry, that's me.
that have, and there's not that urgency to shop. So yeah, Mother's Day, I mean, and like Heart Made Market is coming up on April 8th down at Old Market Square. And I always do really well at that. That's like the only spring one that's like worth doing is one in April, May.
Lee,
Then
we need you to put in a good word for us at Heartland. We've applied
Yeah.
twice and they haven't let us in yet. So we're like,
Oh, really?
yeah, you know,
Okay.
that's part of the
I'll
game.
tell them.
We're gonna do it.
No, and you know, I don't know why. I mean, it's all handmade. I mean, that's what you're looking for. But there are a lot of really good, you know, fall markets, and summer is the time you just hunker down and make, you know,
Make stuff.
so.
Make stuff for Christmas.
Too damn hot. Yeah, start pulling out those Santa things. So anyway, anything else we can answer or share with you guys? You've been so patient and attentive. We appreciate
And
it.
helpful. We really appreciate all the tips you're giving us
Great
and the
feedback.
and the thoughts, you know, things that we don't think about.
I wish you well. You know,
Thank
keep
you.
keep,
Thank
keep
you.
making what you want to make. So
Thank you so much.
This
Well,
has
we
been a
It was
lot of
really
fun.
great to
Oh,
see.
thank
It's
you.
great to see y'all again.
You too. Thank you.
And you can stop sharing your
Yeah, I was-
screen.
There I
we
did.
go. We're all back.
Yeah.
This was great. Thank you so much.
We got some chats.
And thank you, Karen, for getting Margot on board and finding you. So it's wonderful. In our last few minutes, does anybody have anything they want to share? Any shows, readings? Donna?
Old Garage.
Oh,
Inc.
Garage Inc.
My show that's at Archway Gallery will come down the 30th. So that's just one more weekend that it's up. But you know, I think it's sort of a fun show, and I hope you can, if you haven't been by, a lot of you have, hope you can come by and see it.
Okay, great.
And there's Donna and I, and probably some other people in this room, have work in the new Equinox, and it's called Fireflies. And I'm not going to say the name of my poem because it's got a bad word in it. Is it too bad, Donna? If I could. So I was writing something as if I were a firefly, and so the title is "If I Could Light the World with My Ass."
That's the bad word? That's the bad word?
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, oh
Well,
my. Okay.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Anyway, so we're having a reading at La Coqueta on their outdoor stage on Sunday from 3 to 6. So I think it'll be fun. It's a fun publication. You might remember Kelly and Tina from Hot Poet.
Okay.
Presented last year.
When is the reading?
3 to 6.
When?
What day?
Sunday.
Sunday.
Where?
That's all I know about.
So Margot, so a couple people have questions. Could you put the details on, have you put the details, because I haven't looked in a couple of days, on our Facebook group page or on our calendar or both?
Oh, about the reading?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I forgot to do that. Thanks.
Okay, that'll make it easier for some of us who keep losing scraps of paper. Gladys, did you have something?
Thank you. I do. I've mentioned it. I didn't a little early at the top of the the meeting, but yes, I will be doing my STEP workshop by popular demand by Melanie and a couple of other people, but I really would love to see some more WiVLA members attending. I do have, like I said, 3 tickets left, and it does include the workbook and delicious meal. Was on the radio last week, Saturday, promoting and did a shout out to thank for y'all for giving me this opportunity by allowing me with the Echo Fund, which Melody spoke about, to write the get my workbook out, and so I would really love to see some more WiVLA people. But I understand we have a lot of things going. The workshop is from 10 and 3. That we will break for a 45-minute lunch. You will be served a very delicious lunch. Trust me, you're gonna like the meal. And so I just want to say, if you can come out, if you have Zelle, you can do by Zelle. The tickets are $45, and includes the workbook and the lunch, and it's from 10 to 3. And so look forward to seeing y'all. If you have PayPal, that works on even Eventbrite, but they charge a service fee.
Yeah.
So that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, and in addition to lunch and the workbook, you get Gladys May.
You get, and it's gonna be recorded. I think somebody might, since Melody won't be there to record it.
I'm sorry. I'm going to be at work too.
I'm a little
But
nervous.
I've attended this before. And I could say it's an experience. I highly recommend it. And Rona?
Well, just Melody's, you've got a new studio space, and we're both buildings are open now. Advertised open it for second and third Saturdays, not just second Saturdays. I know I've posted it, but I will put it again. The new WCA chapter, Women's Caucus for Art chapter, is a call for art for members. So you'd have to join with the theme Texas Heat Down, and the deadline's May 8th. And it's not juried. So everybody, if you submit something, it will, as far as I know, we're going to get at least one of the pieces for everybody in, because it's at, how many of you did the collaborations that were down in Brazosport at the Brazosport Arts Center? So you know that's a beautiful space, and that's where we're going to be. It's for the month in June. So check that out and come by second or third Saturday and visit all the people who have studios and hopefully Winter Street will get back soon.
Yeah, and it could be, if depending on when winter comes back, Silver Street may be hosting some of the artists again in our East Gallery, not the event space. So it's a
that'd be nice.
A nice
that
space.
was really good when the benefit, I know, did really well. And I know you hosted in the event space.
Yeah, we have some nice management. But yes, I have moved. I'm in the same building. I'm still in Silver Street on the main hall. So I'm trying to get my act together so I can have an open house with libation and snacks.
If anybody's interested, so Sunday at noon, my synagogue is doing a docent tour of the Alice Kahana exhibit at the Holocaust Museum. And I pushed to have it because Rabbi Kahana was our rabbi before I was a member there, and Alice Kahana, I taught her daughter, and the family was involved. So too, the Rosenstocks who have been who are going to talk about the family, they keep in touch with them. So if you want to go, you could call the museum and just tell them you want to be on that tour at noon. And I have a ticket for one person. So I can take one person beside me.
Okay.
Just let me know that you're coming.
Miss Brooke?
Yeah, I don't want to compete with Miss Gladys, but I have something going on Saturday as well. And I want to live into the mission of WiVLA a little bit more and stop hiding in my cave. So I'm trying to speak up, but I am doing my very first workshop at the Jung Center on Saturday. And my kind of my niche is the intersection of creativity and spirituality. So I'll be teaching creative practices that I've integrated that are based in monastic practices, but help us get in touch with our inner connection to the creator, if you will. And so I'll be teaching daily practices to love our lives at any stage of our life. So that's kind of my focus.
When is that?
Sounds fabulous. Sounds fabulous.
Brooke? I guess I'm muted.
Jerry, we can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me now? It's kind of
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
Oh, well, sorry.
A little, yeah. I guess maybe it's me. Go ahead. Did you want to say something, Jerry?
I just said I have a new program and I'm having trouble. This is my first Zoom meeting.
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, this what I wanted to know, Brooke, was when is your program? Is it one Saturday?
Yeah, it's this Saturday, the 25th, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. It's 3 hours. And it's called Transforming Habits.
It's interesting. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Well, yes. Come out of the cave, Brooke. And when I didn't meet you, but I heard about Brooke before I had a chance to meet her, even online. And she was Miss Brooke because she was an elementary school art teacher. And so she was Miss Brooke. So glad to have Miss Brooke in the fold. Any other, and she's not just in the fold, I mean, she's on the board. She's the membership chair. Okay, any other announcements that anyone has? And Rona, thanks for remembering that I had something.
Yep.
Well, this has been a fabulous evening. Thank you, ladies, for your wonderful presentation. I think we all got something out of it and maybe some ideas of places to go or things to give you. You don't mind being gifted, do you? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, the recording of this meeting will be available Thursday-ish, Friday-ish, depending on me. So, and my time. So stay tuned, watch, subscribe to the WiVLA YouTube channel and be notified when it goes online. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ladies. Wonderful evening. And I'll see you soon, I hope.
Night. Night, everyone.
Okay, bye-bye.